The first lesson is what do we call each of this element. For this one, for the x or the y or whatever, we call this as a variable. Okay, and for the number without any variable, without the x, without the y, we will call this as constant, because it never change no matter what the x is. And for the number in front of the variable, we will call this as coefficient. I don't know the right way to write coefficient, but I think this is it. And the important lesson here is usually people make a mistake on the constant because they think the constant should be 7, but the true answer is -7. So you have to pay attention to the positive and the negative in front of the constant. Okay, and this is really an important lesson as well, that you could only add. Okay, so I'll write it here. Could add or subtract if the variable is same. Okay, so let's say I got this number 4x squared plus 6x squared. Okay, because as you could see, the variable is the same. It's both are x squared, so you could add them. How do you add them? You add them by adding the coefficient in front. So 4 plus 6 is equal to 10x squared. Okay, and in another example, let's say we got 6x plus 7y. In this case, you could not add them together because the variable is different from each other. Okay, so this is the last example. Let's say we got 6x squared minus 4x. Even though the variable is both x, but we got squared right here and there's no squared right here, so in this case you also could not add them together. This is the exercise for the one that we learned just now. So if you want to try, you could pause the video and I'll help you after that. So for number 1, we got 4x and 5x. Because this is the same variable, we could add them. So 4 plus 5, it's 9. So we got 9x. And this is -3 plus 6. Because the variable is same, we could add them together. -3 plus 6 is 3. So we got 3y. Okay, so number 1, the answer is 9x plus 3y. For number 2, for this one, so every variable always have a coefficient in front of them. In this case, where they don't write them, it's 1. It's always 1 if you don't write them. So we got 1x plus 4x, so it becomes 5x. And we got -3 as a constant and 7, so you just do it like the way you learn. -3 plus 7 is +4. So the answer for number 2 is 5x plus 4. And for this one, 5a, -3a. So 5 minus 3, it's 2. We got 2a. 5b plus 6b is 11b. For this one, number 4, 3xy plus 4x minus 3y plus 6. Because there's no same variable, this is xy, this is x, and this is y. Because everyone is different from each other, we could not add them. So for this one, the answer should be exactly the same as the questions. So number 5, 2x squared plus 3x squared. 2 plus 3, it's 5. So we get 5x squared. Negative 5x minus 3. So negative 5 minus 3 should be negative 8x. Okay. Now number 6, the last one. 7a, never mind. 5 minus 3. First we do 5 minus 3, it's 2. And then positive 7 minus 8a, it becomes negative 1. So negative a. Or you could write it as 2 minus a. Okay. So this is how you add and subtract variable. I hope this helped you. I'll do the next one